Aloha, friends, all over internet land. How y'all doing out there today? As you come on, if you want to say hello, howdy, aloha, whatever works for you, and let me know where you're joining from. Hey, Kurt in Denver. Looks like Kim got there first. Hey, in Australia. Aloha, welcome, welcome, welcome. Numbers are climbing. People are coming on. You know the drill by now. It is time to, hey, Marilyn, good to see you, girl. It is time to, I can feel the lightness in you, just in your hi, Brian, Marilyn. That's different. I welcome that. So as you're coming on, say howdy, and let's get to it. Hey, Deborah, Diane, y'all ready for some fun? Marianne, good to see you. All right, so check it out. Australia, Denver, Colorado, Quebec, Florida, South Carolina. Hey, Crystalline and Michael, love you. Hey, Elaine in Texas, Deborah in Brazil, Rand in Jordan, and Sam from hello. Awesome. So nobody has typed in anything they want help with yet. So, here it comes. Here it comes. Let's get right to it. Hey, Texas. Welcome, April. Stephanie. Hello, everybody. So I'm going to go straight into the questions. Let's get to it. Set your intention and start to breathe. You ready? Why is it that I'm living in such presence and harmony that the perfect people come into my life without effort? Why is it that as I relax into oneness and as I choose presence and I commit to choosing presence, I get out of my identity, I get out of my storylines and my habitual thinking as I tap into that oneness, into my center, my oneness with all that is, let alone with all my brothers and sisters, which are actually reflections of myself. It's just effortless and automatic. And why am I having so much fun watching it happen? Why is it that I finally realized that despite the political positions taken by people around me, got an eyelash trying to tickle me there. And why do I love my eyelashes so much? Why is it that despite the political stuff and all the positions being spoken about, why did I finally wake up and realize I can't cause anyone to feel anything? Why did I become so present and so centered that I realized we're one, and the choices that I've made up until this moment, conscious or unconscious, doesn't really matter. The choices that I made up to this moment created the circumstances that they did for myself and everyone around me. And being that all that is infinite, unlimited being, it was all quite literally perfect. Now, some might choose to blame others. Some might choose to believe they are victims. Some might choose to say, you made me feel blah, 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 but I don't have to buy it. Why is it that I finally realized that I can be infinitely compassionate, infinitely loving, while at the same time realizing I can't make anyone feel anything? And when I realized that, why did I feel such a relief? Oh, as always, as I do these quantum questions, if it helps, I welcome you giving me feedback afterwards. If this creates the circumstance where you have a more finely tuned question to ask, bring it on. All right. Why is it that I finally became so present that I chose to breathe and be conscious and relax? And when I did, why did I realize there are no miracles? There's only one endless, unraveling miracle. It's not a matter of receiving more miracles. It's a matter of being more attuned to the stunning miracle that I am and that I am in the midst of. And when I realized that, why did everything really turn? Why is it that I breathed so deep and I calmed down so much and I relaxed so much that I realized if I want to receive unconditional love, I have to allow myself to admit that I am unconditional love. And when I did, why did everything change? And why did I stop trying to release doubt? Why did I instead tap into my infinite fucking certainty? My infinite knowing. Why did I stop fighting against? Let me release this doubt, which is Velcro on my hand and Velcro on the doubt. I'm going to release this fucking doubt. I'm going to release this. Why did I stop that and instead tap into my infinite certainty and knowing, at which point doubt ceased to exist? And when I did, why did everything change? Why did I admit that my ability to tap into my infinite knowing is always now here? Why did I stop thinking that I was avoiding interacting? And why did I admit that I didn't want to fucking talk right now? And when I released that resistance and that blame, why did I relax so much? Why did I feel so calm and so happy? Why did I finally relax? Why did I finally breathe in to my deepest self? And why did I discover that the one thing that changes all things is the one thing that reveals there are no separate things? And that is presence, which reminds me that we are all one. At which point, I don't need to change everything. And if there's ever anything to change, I'm guided from my center, from the true me, outside of the mind and the story and the name and the identities. Beautiful. Beautiful. Why did I tap in to the hunger in my body? And why did I feel it? And why, when I stopped making my feeling of starving wrong, when I stopped making my hunger wrong, why suddenly was I able to actually feel what it was that my body was actually asking for? Why did I wake up and realize that sensation of constantly starving was the fruits of me not listening to my body? And when I did, I smiled. And there was no issue. Why is it that whenever I feel any form of pain, which is a word, as valid as any other word, just about, but it has a lot of baggage for a lot of people. Why is it I began to label my sensations as sensations? And when I did, I stopped alienating myself from the sensations, because pain, most people want to get away from pain. But if I notice my sensations, I was able to dive straight into them. And by breathing deeply, the way Brian has showed me 472,911 times, by diving into that breath, my question of how do I relax disappeared. How to stay focused, I just choose focus. And by breathing in presence and diving into the sensation, I don't have to worry about how to be compassionate to it. I just am compassionate to it. And why did I discover that by not making it a how do I and all that complicated mental shit, I'm feeling a sensation right now. I'm going to choose to quit thinking about it and feel it. And I dive into it with the breath. And I begin to discover that the sensation is coming apart in the love and the attention that I'm bringing to it. And why is it that I realize that is always available to me now. Why is it I finally admitted that the God I was thinking is me, and the true love that I was waiting for is me, and that everything I could ever want and need and desire is actually already in me, waiting for me to admit that I am that so that it can show up in the physical? Why is it that I speak my truth from my soul, my passions, my desires, my hungers, my carings about, my love, my truth? Why do I speak it so effortlessly? Why did anything that I ever perceived that was a hindrance to me speaking my truth literally was dissolving with each present conscious breath I took? And why is it that I speak my truth like never before? Why did it become fear-free when I realized it doesn't matter what they think or say about what I think and say? I don't care what they think and say. They don't really care what I think and say. And those who think they do, it doesn't matter. Why did I finally get the wisdom in the simple statement, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind? Why did I finally get that that is true? Why was I inspired to pick up the 4 agreements once again and remind myself of these beautiful truths while breathing, and brought it up as my true nature? How do I stay cool when I see things that look insane to me? Why did I realize that that question doesn't even work? It actually assumes and presumes all these things. Why is it that staying present and feeling my anger as it arises can lead me to the truth? Why did I stop trying to not get angry? Why did I admit that becoming angry from where I'm at, becoming angry is a step towards what I prefer? Why did I honor my anger and feel it with presence so it could guide me to what to do next? Why did I and so many choose to take our power back? And when we did, why did we find we always had it? Why did I take the word confrontation and toss it out and let it become infinite possibilities and replace it with profrontation? Why did I realize I don't have to use any of the words they ever gave me? I choose profrontation. Why did I choose profrontation? Why did I finally realize that having the conversation that I don't want to have leads me to where I actually want to be? Why did I finally realize that finally just sitting down and hearing what I was afraid to hear puts me on the other side of the fear? And sitting eye to eye, heart to heart, nothing can go wrong. Why did I finally let that in? Why did I admit there is no love in human form? Why did I choose to tap into the love that I am? Why did I choose to focus on the love that I am? And when I did, why did I find that all that was ever here was love? Why is it so great to be here again? Why is it that every time I join one of these quantum question sessions, I leave more awake, more conscious, more living, more loving, more free? Why is it that when I don't feel total clarity to express, I know to sit in silence and breathe, knowing that it's developing, and that if there is anything for me to say, I will always be guided perfectly to say it? And why did I accept the possibility that maybe my perceived lack of clarity was actually me hiding from the fact that I was trying to protect myself? And when I realized that, why did I ask a few questions? What do I fear? What's the worst that I fear would happen if I were to speak my truth? Let me write it down. Could I handle that? Why was it so simple for me to handle that illusory need for protection? And when I did, Why did I find myself standing up and speaking my truth? You're welcome. Reflecting on releasing those doubts, right? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We're getting the rainbows now. Okay, a moment ago, this person who is so let me show you this. When you see this, hey Joan, by the way, when you see this with the picture, that means that the person is on either YouTube or Facebook in a place where I can see. Facebook has a glitch with the multi-streaming app that I'm using, that if you're in my group, it doesn't show the picture, which is kind of ridiculous. You're in my group. We're all friends. And the second I click over to the group, I'll be able to see who you are. But those of you that are in my group, you'll see a little thing under the post for the videos that say, every time it says to give StreamYard permission. So if you want me to know who you are and interact with you, you can do that. I'm ready to be infinite love to the children who are hurting. Are you ready to not be infinite love to those who aren't hurting? I'm ready to be infinite love, period. And why is it that I admitted that I always was infinite love? Everything else was just an illusion. And why did I stop trying? And why did I stop trying to do it for some, but not for all? Why did I realize that love is love is love is love is love is, and I am that? Why did I choose presence? Why did I finally realize that the reason that I perceive that I'm suffocating is because I'm not breathing like I could be? And why did I finally admit that the breath is ever available to me? And why did I choose it? And when I did, why did I open up to infinite, unlimited awesomeness? Why is it that I'm okay if there's someone that I don't want to talk to, and I just go with that? Why do I accept the possibility that maybe even if I go for 6 years without talking to somebody, in the next moment I may be guided, it's time to talk, or next week, it's time to talk, and that I'll feel and trust and know? And why do I feel so much relief? And why is it that when I stopped trying to get away from that pain, and I felt the sensation, the sadness and fear that was trying to get my attention was finally able to be felt? And when I felt the sadness and fear and stopped trying to get away from it, I stopped calling it pain, it stopped having to show up as fucking pain. Why, when I meet my sensations with love, the anger, sadness, and fear dissolves, and I step into a whole nother realm of life in presence on the other side of that issue? And there's the evidence. Oh, pure magic, baby. Why is it that I finally realized that what I thought was thinking was almost always being thought? Being unpresent, being not breathing, unconscious eating, inadequate exercising, everything that keeps me in a state of frantic spin with thoughts running endlessly. And I think that I'm thinking, but why did I finally realize none of that is actually thinking? That's just being out of control, and the thoughts are running. Why did I realize that presence is always available to me now? And why did I finally find those breathing videos that Brian makes freely available? And why did it change everything for me? Boom, boom, boom. Why is it true that sitting eye to eye, heart to heart, nothing can go wrong? Things will be said, feelings will arise, and I always have the ability and the availability to breathe through them to the other side when I stop avoiding and I choose to have the conversation that I feared to have, when I choose to hear that which I feared to hear. All right, I'm 20 minutes in to my committed 15 minutes of quantum questions. I'm about to wrap it up. I'm going to touch one more. And I know there's more. Let me just say this because I love these. I just feel so good. I just love that. All right. I'm going to do one more. You ready? Everybody, I'm going to encourage you to be on with me tomorrow. Why did I finally realize that if I see a person outside of me, seemingly outside of me, because I acknowledge oneness, why did I finally realize that if I see someone outside of me not loving me, it can only and always be an indicator of how I'm not loving myself? Why did I finally breathe deep enough when I heard those words? Even though I've heard a million people say, but no one can love you till you love yourself. Fuck all that flowery bullshit. All that stuff that may or may not be true. It has no basis in anything, and there's no roots behind most of that, although ultimately it points to a truth. Why did I realize that if we're all one and everything is energy, there can be no accidents and no mistakes? And therefore, if I want the love of someone, I'm missing the fact, first and foremost, that I am the only one here and that all the love in the universe arises from within me in the first place. All the love anyone has ever shown me arose from within me first, being that we're one. And why did I realize the obvious, undeniable truth that if there's someone out there that isn't loving me the way I want, they can only always be an angel showing me how I'm not loving myself. And if I'll stop thinking and wishing they would change or thinking something's wrong with me, if I would stop in that moment and give love to myself, they would be able to love me, and or I would no longer need their love. And I'm out of here. And there are some for me to work with tomorrow. Laura, I'm using StreamYard, which is the best multi-streaming app I've seen so far. All right. I see more questions. I will address them tomorrow. I love you. You and I are one. Do my lives get better and better and better and more amazing, or do you come to them more present every time because of what you got on the previous? And this is beautiful. Me too. I'll just close with one last minute. You ready? Why is it that there's nothing wrong with you? Why is it that you finally woke up and realized if everything's energy, energy can't be right or wrong or good or bad or fucked up beyond repair? Or why did you finally admit there's nothing wrong with you? You're perfect, complete, eternal energy. Why did you begin to choose presence when you were ready? Pulling out of your illusory identity that you call me. And why did you discover that you were infinite, unlimited love in a state of infinite possibilities, in a state of perpetual grace forever? Why did you finally today decide to do that which would help you to stay in that awareness? I'll see you tomorrow.